guys, welcome to Amity Tracks. I found another competition or challenge that we like to do in the vinyl community. This one, I came across a couple of people I watch fairly regularly doing it, and I figured out that it originated with Sam St. John, so shout out to him. But it's a great question, and I wanted to do it because in part, it gives me an opportunity to talk about some records and artists I really haven't done so far on this channel. Kind of get out of the I guess the usual genres that we travel in. And it's a simple question. Show 5 records that would surprise your regular viewers, that you have or that you really like. So 5 records that your regular viewers would not expect you to have and to really like. So I there are 2 factors I considered. One, level of surprise. Two, how much I really love it. And so, those are the 2 factors, and the higher both of those were, the higher on the list. So I kind of did a top 5 countdown with number 5 being maybe least surprising, but still kind of surprising, and number 1 being maybe the most surprising, coupled with I like it the most. So that's how this is going to work. I thought that would be kind of fun. So number 5, I have mentioned multiple times that I am not a fan of country music. And I give my usual exceptions. Yeah, I like Willie Nelson, I like Johnny Cash. Uh, I've got a Hank Williams collection. So it might surprise some people that I do really like this artist who is much more recent, Chris Stapleton, right? And his album Traveler is the one I picked. And this is this is just fantastic. When did this come out? In 2015 now. But just fantastic. So I say all the time, I don't like modern country. And then you find something like this, and it is just great. And he's got a great story too, right? He'd been a songwriter, kind of kicking around Nashville for a while, writing songs for some other people, and then finally sort of got his chance to do his own stuff, and he just got huge, right? So it's a great story. And the reason I have this maybe at 5 instead of number 1 or something is because, yes, it's country, and I always talk about I don't really like much country, especially recent country. But I mean, this guy has such sort of a rock edge to him, and almost R&B and blues edge to him sometimes, that it would make sense that if I was gonna get into some country, it would have kind of this sort of rock and roll edge to sort of pull me in a little bit. So that's why it's the least surprising of these 5, I think, but still maybe surprising. At number 4, I picked 1987 album Faith by George Michael. Now, I do like 80s pop. I mean, you've already seen, I've kind of talked about a lot of 80s music too, in addition to my classic rock and psychedelic stuff and prog rock and all that. But something that is just pure pop like this, with very honestly very little rock and roll edge to it, might surprise some people. But when it is done this expertly, it's a marvel. I mean, really is. I mean, if I'm totally in on pop music if it's done, at this level. So that might be a little surprising. Coming to number 3, kind of shifting gears here big time. I am a huge fan of Frank Sinatra. I do like the chairman of the board quite a bit. This is a fantastic double album comp, Ultimate Sinatra. I mean, it's got ton of the it's 2 records full of just classics, kind of spanning a lot of his career at least. Now I didn't pull them out, but I don't have much more on vinyl, but I have quite a bit on CD. I've got maybe 5 or 6 of his kind of key records on CD. But yeah, I figured I'd just show this. This is fine. So I mean, in a song like "One for My Baby," it's one of my favorite songs. I mean, that is just God. That is There's so much emotion in that song. And it's just kind of this late night saloon song. With a piano and Frank, and you can just see him sitting at the bar with his his drink, you know, reminiscing. And man, that's so great. But yeah, no, I love Sinatra. Sinatra. I mean, obviously, one of the finest is the finest is one of the finest interpreters of song ever. And even though he kind of had disdain for a lot of the rock and rollers, kind of lived his own rock and roll lifestyle for his time, right? With his buddies, Rat Pack, and all that business. All right, number two. Now, I have mentioned that I am a big jazz fan, and occasionally I have featured some jazz. I think some Ramsey Lewis, but mainly some fusion stuff, Miles Davis and such. But I'm a big fan of Duke Ellington. So the album I picked is this record, Ellington Indigos from 1958, that I just adore. I love this record. It's it's big band, but it's mostly pretty mellow. It's kind of this more contemplative, mellow. Um, it's just got a great feel for it kind of brings you back to that time, I think. But yeah, a huge Duke Ellington fan. I think he is one of the finest composers in American history, and I do have a lot of I don't know, maybe we'll do some jazz featured jazz episodes here, but got Ellington Uptown. Well, this is a collection of his like 1920s, early 30s stuff. I kind of like his later stuff, where he really sort of experimenting with the long form, like the Far East Suite. I've got the Cosmic Scene. This I love. His interpretation of Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker, I think, is genius. It's brilliant. Such Sweet Thunder, where he sort of dedication to Shakespeare, right? His soundtrack to Anatomy of a Murder is pretty brilliant. Of course, the groundbreaking live album at Newport. I mean, so yeah, I love Duke Ellington, admire him a lot. I haven't really talked to him at all, or talked about him at all on this channel. But my number one, love this guy, like genuinely, unironically, love this guy. I think he has a massive voice, massive presence. He's always having a blast, and he commits to whatever material he's doing, if it's old country standards or if he's covering Prince, doing dance music, or whatever he's doing. Love this guy. And he's like self-aware. He knows he's kind of ridiculous and he just revels in it. But he genuinely has a incredible voice. Talking about Sir Tom Jones. I love Tom Jones, man. Like seriously, Tom Jones is awesome. So this is this is a double album, greatest hits. I've got another greatest hits here. Actually a ton on CD. Even some of his like '90s and later stuff. Here's the Lead and How to Swing It. Check that out. Check that album art out. And there's an awesome picture in there too. Tom Jones, baby. Yeah, I even have this is the booklet from it, but a 4 CD box set of Tom Jones. Look at that guy. Look at him dance. Look at that. That's commitment. I mean, this guy's great. Editor and I got to see him in his natural habitat, which would be Las Vegas. We we were there and he was playing and we went and saw, and it was fantabulous. It was a fantastic show. Tom Jones, man, I salute you. All right, now that was fun. Like I said, 5 records, artists that may surprise you. I hope I don't lose subscribers, from mentioning all these guys. I don't think I stand by Tom Jones. I do. All right, guy, that was kind of fun. Well, we'll be back to the rock and roll soon enough. It's okay. But I do want to do some. I do want to do some jazz episodes. Getting some jazz music, some blues. Maybe because I do have some quite a bit of that stuff too. We just haven't really featured it yet. We'll do it all. We'll do it all. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please do subscribe if you haven't. It really helps us out. Hit the bell for notifications, like the videos, all that great stuff, and we'll see you next time.